Lord Jesus, save them from themselves. Save these people from themselves. Hi, everybody. Honestly, when I went to bed last night, I said to myself, um, it couldn't possibly get any worse. We've seen the worst of it. That's what I said to myself. We have seen the worst of it. Um, But no, there were surprises in store for us. As time went by, more and more photos came out, and things only got worse. So, um, by the way, thank you, Mercedes Keys, for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Happy Wednesday to you, Hump Day Wednesday. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And thank you for being a part of the chat this afternoon, morning, or evening, respectfully. Okay, let me say hi to a few people. Like, for instance, Mercedes Keys, also Jacqueline Baltimore, Connie Balmer, Denise Jones, Church Nelly, Lydia Washington, Sherry Ware, Karen, Marshar is here. Uh, Dolores Williams, yes. Letitia Malone, Mo Shannon. Okay. Myra V is here. Sheila Watson, good to have you here. Omalara Judah, welcome. Miss Levy, Lucy Wynn, Black Queen, Cynthia Cowcroft, is that right? Cowcroft? Raven, Annie Bullard, hi. V. Thomas, okay, come on in. Marcus, I'm sorry, Denise Marcus. Um, uh, Denise, I know you're upset. And you know what, you guys, I'm going to try to do this in a way that is fair to the situation, although the optics are particularly bad. Particularly bad. Um, this is why they say representation matters. This is an excellent case for representation matters. And if there's anybody who should have realized that, it, of course, is that family. Their fortunes have gone from bad to worse ever since they decided to vilify and shun the best thing that has happened to that family since Princess Diana. And that, of course, is the Duchess of Sussex. Instead of, I guess, finding a way to enhance the family, to use diversity to make the family stronger, they decided to do things the old fashioned way, to do as they've always done. I mean, there's so many movies out there, there's so much material that says that model doesn't work. That person that you see on the screen right there is ill equipped for most things in life that doesn't have to do with country clubs, dogs, ponies, weekend shooting parties. She's not equipped for anything that has to do with life. And there is a lack of intellectual curiosity that is going to be the undoing of the Windsor household. The Mountbatten-Windsor family is unraveling as we speak. Things are just going south for them, and there's nothing they could do about it, especially so long as the matriarch, the ruler, the sovereign, as so long as she's there, there's no necessity to change because everything has been going well so far, hasn't it? We can have all of the benefits of empire, but we will brand it the Commonwealth, and that is supposed to save the day. Have a sip of that and see how it goes. Well, anyway, let's get to a few things here. This, this is so bad. This is bad. You know, there was that very, and I'm going to use the wording of the tabloids because, as you know, Lord Nappyhead's paper. He himself, I think, is Jamaican, but he's a DL Jamaican, maybe. But he himself, he's a DL Jamaican. He's on the down low. The S curl model, the former S curl model, Lord Nappyhead. This guy has a newspaper that loves to use terms like cringe worthy. Um, what is another one of those words that they use to try to make things sound worse than what they actually are? But yeah, cringeworthy. That's what I get from this. Alarming. Either one of these photos can be particularly cringeworthy, right? Sloppy, awkward, you name it, whatever adjective you think fits. Anything that kind of makes your skin crawl, that is the adjectives that we could use for this. Um, but I'm taking my cue from Lord Nappyhead and the rest of the tabloids when it comes to this family. So there she is, peering through the fence. Um, and I, I had to make a decision today. You all know that there was a period of time when they had the human zoo, right? So I had to make a decision. Do I want you all to walk away from this live stream feeling even more angry? And I said to myself, no, that is not the point, is to make people even more angry. So I decided to just bypass the whole issue of the human zoo. You all have Google. From what I've learned, up until the 1950s, they still had people of African descent caged as animals for the amusement of Europeans. I think the last country where that was banned was perhaps Belgium, if memory serves me. But that was a thing. That was a thing where they would have even little black children in a caged, fenced off situation for the amusement of white people. And so I decided to spare you those images. And if you choose, you can seek them out yourselves. But it's jarring. Is that another one of those words from the tabloids? One may find it rather jarring to see those things. So I decided to just bypass that and keep it moving. So comments are coming in fast and furious. I don't think there's ever been um, almost 600 people in 10 minutes on any live stream. Yet here we are. So this is obviously people have some things to say. Jacqueline Squash says the Bible declares that Let me see. What profits a person to gain a whole world and lose your soul? We must serve God Almighty in spirit and truth. Amen. Amen. Thank you for that, Jacqueline. Um, Very wise words from the Bible. Let me see. Thank you for being here with all of us. This is a great therapy. I hope. I hope so too. That's why, Favi, I have, made up my mind. I'm going to try not to overdo it because it. I don't want to be angry, but I do want us to learn. I want this to be a teachable moment for everyone. When they say critical race theory is a threat to society, I think, no, I not think that's not strong enough. I believe that the two subjects in the center of the photo on the right and on the left of the photo to the left, I think they may have benefited more from critical race theory than just about anybody I could think of. Given the incredible mediocrity of those two and the fact that they will be in such a powerful position, is the best case anyone can make for critical race theory or even just basic history of the world. I mean, one of these people, they're a geography major, right? And the one up front, well, she's supposed to have a degree in history, not history, but art history. And where there's art, there are images of people of African descent in a subservient position. Now, anybody with an intellectual curiosity would look at one of the quote unquote old masters' paintings and try to establish, why do I always see people of color in those subservient positions? But maybe that's not the case. Maybe she doesn't have the capacity to do that. Obviously not, because an alarm should have gone off and said, these people are on the other side of the fence. This may not look good, but they did not have representation. They didn't have any representation to say, you know what, maybe the optics on this is not ideal. Do you think that we should? No, they didn't have that. That did not exist for them. That was not in their wheelhouse. And so this is what happened as a result of it. The outstretched hands through the chain link fence. And then the photo on the right, that, and I know it's not what it looks like, but it's almost as though, you know how sometimes when they have those football matches in, like, oh, I don't know, the United Kingdom, when the black players come out and people imitate the sounds of a primate. That's what that face looks like. I know that's not what's going on there. I'm sure that that is just a frame of a photo that happened to capture her looking a certain way. But again, awkward, awkward. And but for the fact that there's a lack of representation within the household, within Kensington Palace, this was accident waiting to happen. This was bound to happen because of the lack of representation, because there was no one there to say, be careful, you don't want to, never mind. Never mind. Do you, boo? Do you? So, with that being said, let's see. You say geography degree without navigating his own country as helicopter ambulance rescue team. Art degree without knowing what a Fabergé egg is. Vanity degree all the way from the record books. Um, this is true. This is true. I did see the image of Catherine, Duchess of um, you know, Cambridge. I saw the image of her at the museum looking at the Fabergé egg. Please tell me that she did know what that was. Please tell me she didn't look at that egg and say, "What is that?" because I saw the photo, but I don't want to believe that that's what happened. But if that's what you're telling me, that is shocking. I mean, I grew up in less than ideal circumstances, but at least I do know what a Fabergé egg is. I do know that that was a court jeweler of the czars of Russia and their families. So if I know that as a layperson, surely the Duchess of Cambridge knows the history of the Fabergé egg. And well, anyway, maybe not. So Donna Black says, uh, I've been reading that William used a white, I can't say the S word for the purposes of monetization, hand sign. I saw that too. The same sign that that other person uses at his rallies, but I never knew it represented that. I've I learned about that because of our former president, and when I tried to explain that to some people during the days of the exchanges on Facebook and the presidential election, I don't know if I was talking to trolls or not, but there were several people who tried to downplay exactly what I was looking at. And they're like, but that just means okay, doesn't it? Does it? Does it? There are prime examples of people within the last administration, even at congressional hearings. And of course, when they did it, the outstretch of the fingers was way too obvious. Okay. So I'm not saying that that's exactly what the Duke of Cambridge was doing, but I did see the photos of it. When I've seen it used by people from the last administration, it was more exaggerated. But then again, it doesn't mean that it wasn't what it appeared to be. So I'm just going to say that. Okay, Lucy, you say representation does matter if you are, I mean, doesn't matter if you are unable to have the mental intellect to understand or care about others and situations. Very true, Lucy, when it doesn't matter how much representation you have, because at the end of the day, there is someone who has been depicted as constantly angry. Um, on more than one occasion, has been said to have been incandescent with rage. So, Lucy Wynn, you're absolutely right. What does it matter what a person says or does in a situation like Kensington Palace if the principal is unwilling to learn or is unwilling to admit that there are problems? Because this person did not find anything wrong with the fact that the sole member of the family who happens to be a woman of color and have married into the family, the idea that he could run her out of town to the servants' quarters and then eventually use the tabloid press allegedly to drive her out of the country did not seem to be inconsistent with any type of thinking that he had in reference to his position as a prince of the realm and a future. He didn't see anything wrong with it. He thought he was in a position, I'm assuming, to do what needed to be done to make sure that he and his mediocre Middleton wife always appeared to be in control of everything and that they were always would appear to be the best at everything when nothing could be further from the truth. As you can see, I haven't had a lot of time to think about this. I'm being sarcastic, but I haven't had a lot of time to think about this matter. Okay. So, hi, Rosa Robert. Rosa would like to say hello to some people. Let's do that while I go to the next slide. Okay. And with that, he needs to go. So be gone. And there you have those tender faces pressed against the chain link fence. The symbolism of the chain link fence is horrific. It's horrific. Um, and I promise you, I'm going to be as direct about this as necessary, and I'm also going to be as fair as possible because I don't want to make myself angry today. I don't want you all to walk away from here angry, but we do need to learn. Those children will forever be haunted by that picture. Their parents should never have allowed that. Poor babies. Yeah. Let's see. I'm sorry for your loss. May God give you comfort and peace at this time. Oh, Jelaine, I'm so sorry that you've had a loss. And of course, the squad will always be praying for one another's situations. They both wanted the spotlight and wanted Harry and Meghan gone. Well, they have their wish. The problem is they are not ready for prime time. Joyce Voss, that is so true. They are not primetime players. They are pretty much mediocre, underwhelming, lackadaisical. Those the Cambridges don't have the temperament nor the personality for the work. I wonder if Kate took time to tell the kids there's something wrong with their brains. Isn't that what she's there for with her 10 years of experience? Oh, now see, you're reading my mind because I was thinking the same thing. I saw something that was on Twitter yesterday in reference to the something wrong with their brain, and I'm just like, I hope she doesn't pull that crap while she's there. Please don't try to do that too. This is where Harry and Meghan shines because they are natural. William and Kate have no idea what day or time it is when it comes to people of color. They clearly don't care. Our word couple. Yes. Um, yeah, Helene, I'm told a lot of children came out to see him, not Egghead and Twig. Okay. And Lily Bell Grant says Kate was actually scared of people. This is why she was holding on to William. Those kids were there to watch a football match with Raheem Sterling, where William tried to play in the match. Okay, I saw a bit of that video as well. These pictures are disturbing. Who is advising the Cambridges team on their tour in Jamaica? The person are behind the fence, or persons behind the fence, as if they are diseased. This is ridiculous. Yes. Okay, let's go to the next slide, shall we? All right, so take a look there. This was on the Twitter from one of the squatties today, and they used the pic collage to create this. So there you have a more relaxed Kate, and there you have a Kate that seems to be a bit more distant compared to the other photos. I mean, she's smiling, she's doing the job of the princess of the realm, but the big issue is the chain link fence. No word on whether or not they had any control over the fence being there. But if they only had some type of representation within that household, they may have had a better idea of optics, what optics would be acceptable and what would cause the social media to go into a meltdown this morning. So there you have the Duke of Sussex, surrounded by a bunch of people of color, a very relaxed Duke of Sussex, and there in front of him is the Duchess of Sussex. Again, a very relaxed photo. I believe this one is from South Africa. Big group shot. As you can see, relaxed, casual, um, somewhat spontaneous, I'm sure. Very different from what seemed to be this kind of panic stricken couple that we saw yesterday. Again, from South Africa. Yeah, from South Africa. And as you can see, totally relaxed and, wading through the crowd. There doesn't seem to be a lot of security up, against them and all that kind of stuff. They're just there. And the children are very well behaved, as you can see, and very excited. Okay, the children are very well behaved. I can't help but notice that in this photo. Okay, and so there are people who have decided within, I think it was 100 signatories, who want an apology and they want reparations, and they like it now. They are moving toward purging the Constitution of Queen Elizabeth, who is there in her regalia with all of the jewels and trappings of empire. Very recent photo, I might add, too. I mean, that had to be within the last few years. This is the way the Queen would normally appear with state visits or a state dinner, all bejeweled, usually jewels that won't cause any controversy wherever she's visiting. And of course, those local governments and of course the federal governments of whatever country would pick up the tab. They would pay for the police protection, housing, all of that is paid for by the host government. Except for here in the United States, I do believe that if the royals come to the United States, whatever institution invites them will pick up the tab. So I don't think it's actually, because our federal government does not pay for the Olympics or the World's Fair or anything like that. All of that is done privately in the United States, just so you know that. So I don't think the government, aside from protection, would ever pick up the tab for the royal family. Okay, and then of course, these were the images from yesterday. As you can see, say you're sorry, reparations due, reparations now, no to the R word, genocidal family. I mean, they went there. Who voted for the Queen? Not me. Governments should be, can't read the bottom of that, but I believe the girl also had a sign that said that princes and princesses belong in fairy tales, not in Jamaica. And these are also some that I showed yesterday. Scores of Jamaicans turn up at the British High Commission in St. Andrews this morning to protest the royal visit. They had plenty warning that this was coming. Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, the protesters are calling for the royal family to apologize for slavery and pay reparations. They had warning. They had warning, and it is the very height of arrogance that they tried to uh, still execute this visit as though it was 1954. These are modern times, and there was rumblings about this because things won't change for a long time. Things are not destined to change because as long as this is the sovereign, there is this refusal to change things from the status quo. They won't do it. And pardon me if my voice is getting to be a bit sharp because I promised myself that I was not going to rattle off things with a bunch of, anger in my tone because again, we don't need to walk away from today angry. We need to walk away from today understood, and we also need to learn. But we don't need to make ourselves angry because there's just too much going on right now. But there has been warnings, murmuring, and plain like open letters and such saying, "Bad idea, bad idea," and they just big fat did it anyway. I don't get it. Now, most Jamaican people, as I have been told, went about their business. There were people who decided to protest by just not showing up, least of all at the High Commission. But then, of course, there were people, in fairness, who was there to cheer. There were people who were there to cheer them on. But unfortunately, that's when the optics went south. That's when the optics went south. So let me take a couple more comments before I move on. Lydia Washington says over 900 in the chat. Please hit the like button if you have not already to support the channel. Okay, thank you for that, Lydia. And let's see, there's supposed to be a speech by William tonight, I heard. Let's see if it's true. I don't doubt that there would be a speech. I mean, that's kind of the thing. The speech, let me give you a preview. My grandmother and my grandfather, when he was alive, always looked fondly on their visits to Jamaica. My son, my children, they were also keen to visit Jamaica, and they're so jealous that I was able to come, and they vowed that someday that I would return with them, yada yada yada, etc., etc. It's the same stump speech, just exchange Belize for Jamaica, and you've already heard the speech. I can assure you, you've heard the speech already. As for an apology, remember Gordon Brown told the people of Jamaica, "This is what happened. Move on." Would you expect anything different from William? Baron, here in the UK, the rodents tried to put the spin on this by claiming there were large crowds to meet William and Kate. Bahamas has now decided they will be looking about getting rid of Betty. Is there any doubt? This is a tidal wave. This is a tsunami, a seismic change to the status quo and business as usual. There is no more business as usual. This is all about to take a big change. So when people tell you that there will always be the institution of the royal family, sure, but they may not always have the trappings of what the family so easily indulge in today. That is going to change. It's inevitable. Again, the one thing that is preventing things from changing someday won't be here. And so once Betty's gone, things have to change. I think that using the Queen's age to keep the institution going as usual, that cannot sustain itself. 82 million pounds for what? 82 million pounds, what does that buy you nowadays? Because if this is the future of what 82 million plus pounds will get you, if this is the future of what 82 million pounds or more buys, then there's going to be some trouble down the line. So anyway, let's keep it moving. um but for the fact of the way the Duchess of Sussex has been treated, I probably wouldn't be here having this conversation right now. There is no way in hell or earth I would have let my child participate in the slave mentality, but they were tricked because they thought they were there to see a football celebrity. Oh, Audrey Davis. You're talking about Raheem, right? You know, um, that makes all the sense in the world. I was so taken back by all of the chain link fence images. I didn't even consider the fact that Raheem was the big draw. My attention was here. But yes, unfortunately, I don't have an image of Raheem readily available. But I get what you're saying. Gosh, that this is great that we're having this conversation. You have really shed the light on this. I was so preoccupied with the chain link fence and the outstretched fingers and hands of little black children. I didn't even consider the fact that there was a bit of a bait and switch. Audrey Davis, I am going to build a shrine to you later. You are absolutely brilliant. I love that. You definitely have figured this thing out. I didn't even think about that, but yeah. So they went there to see a football star, soccer football star, and what they came up with was um, those two. Yeah, I got it. I still get that. You all get that? that is why there were so many children there. It wasn't because of the Cambridges, it was because of the national treasure, their football star, that they were there. Makes all the sense in the world. Heavens to Betsy, I would have totally have missed that. So thank you. Phew, that makes sense. I thought I was like, oh, I don't know what I thought. As I said, there was the that thing that I saw and the chain link fence and such. So I didn't even give it a thought, but I got you now. Thank you for that. So moving right along. Oh, by the way, you guys, please hit the like button. Please hit that like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And if you would like to support this channel, there are several ways to do that. You can find it in the comment section and so on. But yes, please consider, um, supporting this channel. So, okay, let me get on to the next slide, shall we? Okay, next slide, next slide. Okay, I need to go further this way. All right, and we did that, and we got that. Oh, I'm on this one. Okay, you guys. So buckle in. Here goes. There's an open letter, and some of the squatties, there were like two squatties that wanted to make sure that I saw this today, which, of course, has been all over Twitter. So thank you so much. For making sure that this was brought to my attention. First, let me scroll all the way here. Okay, just making sure. All right. So over to you, Kate. That's how they put the headline on this. I'm going to make the font nice and big so I can actually see it with these baby boomer peepers of mine. Okay, following is an open letter to the Duchess of Cambridge. Dear Kate, help us break the bias that stops our progress. Today will be the first day of your visit to Jamaica, a country ravaged by the remnants of slavery and colonialism. While we relish the excellence in our history, namely freedom fighters like Nanny, Paul Bogle, and Sam Sharp, who refused to surrender their dignity to the vile system of enslavement, we also content with raw, untreated wounds inflicted by the British Crown on whose behalf you visit. We were beaten and broken into believing that plantation owners and their cronies, because of wealth and race, had unfettered rights to and dominion over the bodies of Black women. So they raped us with impunity. We were beaten and broken into believing that if you are white, you are right. If you're brown, stick around. If you're Black, get back. And so you will see the bleached faces of men and women along the roadways who think they become more beautiful and worthy with each layer of Black skin that is burnt and peeled away. We were beaten and broken into believing that we were only good enough to plant and reap sugar. And so, even today, people who worked on sugar plantations that have earned billions of dollars accept intergenerational poverty, accept intergenerational poverty and deplorable living conditions as their lot in life. We were beaten and broken into believing that our purpose as a nation was to cater to yours. That is why our government neglected the proper cleaning of hospitals until you and your husband were expected to visit. Without remorse, the needs of our citizens for care and quality service were only met as consequence of trying to impress you. You will feel welcome here as our institutions and leaders are still willing to actively value you and your husband above his people. You see, Kate, slavery didn't just start and end, it imprinted a belief system in our minds of people that 60 years later we have not faced, deconstructed, and destroyed. Your presence here reminds us of the horrors of enslavement and the colonized economy, education, and psychology that remains as part of its legacy. So, how do you begin that process? Black feminist Audre Lorde conditioned us that the master's tool will never dismantle the master's house. But I believe in truth and reconciliation to give those who have harmed us reasonable opportunity to repair the breach and make amends. It is not too late for you to become an advocate on the side of justice and impress upon your family the need to furnish the country with reparations for stolen labor that built your family's empire so we can build for ourselves the institutions that will equip our people with the self confidence, values, and belief systems that allow us to take up space as our authentic selves and not a contrived version, helpless, faithless, and eager for a handout. Furnish the country with reparations for the stolen labor that built your family's empire so we can invest in diverse sectors beyond tourism, wherein we seek the white dollar and white patronage of our white sand beaches, and into the diverse, responsive, and agile economy of the future, one where people benefit from others' labors, not just the foreign investor. Furnish the country with reparations for stolen labor that built your family's empire so that we can rebuild our families and restore a healthy legacy to Black homes and Black communities. Violence is a solution, as a solution, is imprinted on our minds from the centuries of violent oppression our parents endured at the behest of your parents. We are owed plenty, but we do not seek it for frivolity, but for the demolition and deconstruction of the destructive mores and institutions you forced us to believe in and surrender to. We need to become a republic that is on us, and we will do it. As you drive through our country on newly surfaced roads so that you will have a smooth ride, look beyond what is directly in front of you. Look at the living conditions of the Jamaicans now that garbage has not been collected in most communities because of the lack of funding, but collected on your route so you will not see it. Know that the hospital got cleaned for you, but most don't have medication. Leaders of the opposition, Mark Golding, has stated his intentions to sit with you and your husband to discuss reparations. We appeal to you as a mother, as a wife, as a woman, and as a human being to encourage a real conversation with results in your understanding of the role of your family in development as a country and as the role that justice demands you play in righting those wrongs. We believe you want to see a world where every human being's life is treated with dignity, no matter the color of his or her skin. But to level the playing field requires more than awareness of injustices, it requires investment. It's only in 2015 that the British government made their last payment to the descendants of plantation owners as compensation for the loss of slaves resulting from emancipation. It is now time to make payment to the descendants of the enslaved. I look forward to you and your husband coming as tourists to visit our beautiful island when it has no queen as its head of state. If you do the just and humane thing, your next visit will be with a clear conscience. The People's National Party Women's Movement. So that was the open letter to the Duchess of Cambridge. And I hope they handed it to her. I hope she received it. And when I say I hope she received it, I hope she actually received it. Wow, 1,051 people in the chat. That is spectacular. Thank you for that. So that is the open letter. I will make sure that I put that in the community tab so that you can review it for yourself. Let me see. Yeah. Isn't that nice? I really appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Kate staring blankly into space, not understanding a word of that important letter with her scientific mind. Oh, Leticia. Thank you for that. So, um, this was meant as a bit of levity, but take from it whatever you will. Jamaica, come for a vacation, stay for reparations. Just something I put together last night. I thought it was fun. But as this tour has taken a very serious turn, uh, well, anyway, I made that. I don't understand over 1,000 people in the chat, and half of them cannot give you a thumbs up. What's up with that? Mary Davis, I don't know. You know, people treat me any kind of way. Got into a convo with someone that what Kate has brought to the table in the last 2 decades. She told me that first 8 years didn't count because she was still dating. She was then busy raising 3 kids. Yeah, I wish that every woman who wanted an opportunity to marry a prince, live off the public dole, um, maintain what 2 or 3 households, a helicopter, and such. I wish every woman would have the opportunity to enjoy all of the fruits of being a princess of the realm and decide when or whether or not she wants to work. It doesn't work that way. Even the Queen has branded the Duchess of Cambridge as lazy, as evident by the fact that the palace never refused to say yay or nay if the Queen felt that way. Then that means it was obviously true, because something as impactful as that, surely the royal family would pull some strings or get an apology from the tabloids. They never asked for an apology, and they never received one. Um, right? Okay. This happened because the Prime Minister of Jamaica likes to kiss up and treat his people like rubbish. Sounds like a politician to me. Isn't that every politician? Well, most of them. Well, this was Harry in Jamaica. It was a totally different vibe when Harry was there. Now, because Harry and Meghan have stepped back from royal duty, thank goodness that they do not have to try to. But again, if it was the Sussexes, it would be a totally different outcome, because Harry and Meghan will ask questions, will talk to people, will sit down, and even would have, tried to, um, I guess, make some type of understanding between both sides. And even Harry would have spoken about the past atrocities and the wrongs. I mean, he's done that already. So, of course, he would be limited because of being a member of the royal household. So it's probably just as well, if not better, that he doesn't have that responsibility on him, because he would have been, his comments would have been, I guess, redacted by the Home Office and all that kind of stuff. And it would have been a shell of his intended speech. So At least now Harry is free to navigate the world, and he's not afraid or encumbered in any way, so he can say what he wants to say, and and it's okay because he's living his best life in Montecito, and he no longer is restricted by protocol and such. Of course, yesterday I pointed out how they wanted to, I guess, get rid of the Queen some 10 years ago and become a republic. And they sent Harry there to quell any type of rebellion, if you would, from the government at that time, the prime minister. She was like saber rattling all the way up until the point that this happened. And then after this, suddenly it seemed like all was forgiven, all was forgotten for the time being. This is a contrast that was also created by one of the squatties on Twitter. I've had it for quite some time, or it may have been on Facebook, but I've had it for some time. So you can see the Sussexes in South Africa. And this was made, probably around the time of the South Africa trip, as a contrast to the Cambridges who were newly married in 2011, 2012, when they went on the Oceania tour. This is a photo op that Prince Charles avoided. You cannot find Prince Charles being carried in a chair by the natives. I don't suppose it exists. Charles had enough sense to know that the optics were absolutely horrible, horrible. And so he avoided that. But for some reason, Tweedledee and Tweedledum did not see any conflict with it. As a matter of fact, they seemed to be delighted by the attention. Did Kate have an arranged marriage? William don't look happy or spontaneous with Kate on things new. It's as if they are going through the motions. Is this another Charles and Diana at the Taj Mahal? Yeah, I believe at the Taj Mahal, Diana actually went to see the monument by herself. But when they went on that trip to, I think it was Tokyo or South Korea, that was when the Queen told them to divorce because in at the Taj Mahal, Charles had promised that he would take Diana there, and think, I think this is just my opinion. I believe that Charles thought something as loving and intimate as that would cause irrevocable harm with this person. And so he probably decided that because everybody involved knew that Diana wished to have that moment with Charles, he just refused to take her because it may have caused a conflict with his emotional support, Camilla. So I would imagine that that's why that didn't happen. And so by the time they got to Asia and they were avoiding eye contact and looking away from each other and had that very awkward moment in the back of the limousine, that was when the Queen was like, divorce! And it was over. Okay, so I think that was the timeline. But if I'm wrong, please let me know. Okay, so there you have. These are some of my favorite photos of Harry. So, everybody, do me a favor right now. Do me a favor, everyone, all 1,072 of you. Take a sip of something. Take some deep breaths. Let's decompress from the chain link fence, from the very um I guess imperial images we just saw, the old colonizer images, although it's a different time and everything. They just look really bad. So take a deep breath, take a sip of something, and then let's appreciate Harry. When times get tough, I turn to the Duke of Sussex and his experience with that family. Harry has that same touch, just like his mother. Some people call it the common touch. He has that very common touch. And this is the stuff that I use as a tool to try to take it back down again, because Harry knows how to be in a space and how to be a nurturing, supportive force within that space. Now, Harry has had some interesting life experiences to get to this point, but it doesn't matter anymore how he got here. That's something that hopefully will address in his book. The point is, he's here. So let's wait to hear from Harry about how he got here, but let's appreciate the fact that he's here now. As he cradles that child's head, I believe that was a young man from the Well Child. Um, that gets me every time. That gets me every time. And then he and William, I think they went to Africa. Yeah, I think they went to Africa. I want to say that when the Centabale started, that was when the photo on the right was taken. Let me see. Here's succinctly put in getting to the main issue. Harry made his own amends to sensitive issues. His brother otherwise is taking Granny's cue, stayed silent, and plays the long game of wait and see. That is absolutely brilliant. That is on spot, as they say. You're 100% right. And William is blaming Kate for the right. Can I say that? He was expecting to be glorified like Harry and Meghan, but with Mumble's cold fish personality, it didn't happen. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me see. Harry has something Willie and Kate don't have. That's compassion. True. Let me see. Sharon Marcia Lawrence Hunter says, uh, it was sad to see the way my country brother sister was treated yesterday. I am so glad my parents got me out of there since 1972. Let me see. My parents came to America in 69 and sent for 6 children. All right. So you're from Jamaica. That's so cool. All right. Uh, Let me see. I have coconut water. Going to get some strawberry rum and add it. Let me know how that works out. I may need something for medicinal purposes later. Yeah. Yes, C-Mac. Okay. Royal Sussex. Uh, Harry is a natural. I guess the vexations we see on Kate's face is because um, she can see how he will be publicly affectionate and protective of Meghan also. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next one. It gets I love this. We always knew he was going to be a good father, right? We That was obvious because Harry loves children. And in spite of the fact, I mean, to just think about this. When I see this picture, I think about the fact that William, it is reported, I don't know this firsthand, but it was reported that William wanted Harry to wait 10 years to make sure that the Duchess of Sussex was the one. Wait 10 years, because that's what I did. I waited 10 years and look at how we turned out. So he wanted Harry, I'm being sarcastic, to wait 10 years to make sure that Meghan was the one. So he wanted Meghan, 36, soon to be 37, to wait 10 years, which means that they would have probably started a family at 47. There's no risk in that, is there? I mean, if I was a very sarcastic person, or if I was a very suspicious person, I would be led to believe that William just didn't want Harry to enjoy the happiness that he has today with his wife and his children. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, is that William just never wanted Harry to have this. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Or that he just didn't want him to have it with that woman of color. But in spite of whatever was going on behind the scenes, that did happen. And now Harry is more happy than he's ever been in probably his entire life. So um, this was quite obvious a sign that Harry um, wanted a family of his own. And yeah, can you confirm the Sussexes and the Oscars? Because the press is talking the Sussexes won't go to the Oscars. Virginia, what I understand about the Oscars is that every year the Sussexes will be invited, and nobody knows whether for sure they will show up. It has not been confirmed. And as you know, the Sussexes said if you don't hear it from us, then don't believe it because they are going to communicate directly with the press. So there's always that possibility that it may be a Sussex surprise. But Harry is preparing for the Invictus Games and he has a lot to do. The Duchess of Sussex may also be preparing for the Invictus Games. And if that's the case, their children are likely to travel with them, or perhaps just one of their children will travel with them. Either way, they got a whole lot going on. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So I can't confirm it until we know better. But as far as I know, there has been no press release saying that the Sussexes will be there, but it is very likely they were invited. I hope that's helpful. Well, William, um, thank you for that. I hope so, Gracie. That's what I'm always hoping for. I don't ever want to get on here and have that angry tone where I'm just like, I mean, you guys have heard me down, but I don't think you've heard me actually angry. And I don't want you to hear that. I don't want to be that person. I want to have some reasoning and understanding, but not anger. So, yeah. So I try to keep things up instead of, the other way. So, but thank you for mentioning that. Uh, Willie never wanted Harry to get married until he was in his mid 40s. That would have given Willie time to use him until George is about 18. That makes sense. That makes sense. And maybe that was the plan. Maybe they just assumed that Harry would just play along all that time and not really, I guess they wanted him to be the scapegoat, the buffoon, the whipping boy, the comic relief for the family, while he and the Duchess of Cambridge could go and do whatever they wanted to do with each other or other people. Harry's compassion comes from seeing individuals' humanity. To be honest, and his that is to be no, I'm sorry, not to be honest. TLB. Um, sometimes I don't get it when I see it, and I know it should be obvious to me, but I don't. To be and his familiar to see black and brown people as less than, always have, always will. Okay, so he doesn't see and brown people as less than. I'm sorry. I sometimes I see stuff and I don't get it until like I'm three comments away. They could have chosen a 20-year-old blonde with their English society to wait until she turned 30 to have children, while his son and the heir, George, turns 18. That was the palace map out by, there we go again, FFK. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. Prince William wanted Prince Harry to continue doing Kate's work whilst he has a family and carry on the bloodline, and Harry be grateful, um, insensitive and selfish, only interested in being king. Yeah, he wants the power, but he doesn't want to do the work. You guys, let me tell you. Let me make a confession here. When I started doing this work, I didn't think I would have to work as much as I actually work. That being said, since you all have given me the responsibility of doing this work, I do the best I can every single day. And so throughout the day, I'm constantly like, learning stuff and researching stuff and trying to answer as many comments as I can. I didn't know I would be working this much, but since I'm here, I'm working. Um, and I just imagine if I could be like William and pick and choose and wait for other people to do stuff and have no intellectual curiosity. I mean, wouldn't that be the life? And I have a helicopter too. I mean, I'd have to try it at least for a day. But yeah, I didn't know that I would have to work this much. But with the little responsibility that I have, I do the best I can. But you can't say the same about the Cambridges. They seem to just exist in the space and they don't ever seem to work for it. They don't, I mean, to see the Duchess of Sussex show up with a notebook, you know, Meghan shows up with a notebook most times. She shows up with her notebook ready to work. Whenever she has any type of gathering with anyone as a princess of the realm or as just Meghan Markle of California, she's taking notes, right? And so the tabloids decide to use that against her to make it seem like she's pushy and bullying and she's coming in here with this American work ethic. Who does she think she is? She's a bully. But on the other hand, you have someone who is the future that doesn't have much intellectual curiosity. She plays the part. She takes credit for other people's work, but there's no there. If she was actually capable and actually doing something, then we wouldn't be having this conversation right now because there would be no doubt of her ability. But there doesn't seem to be anything there except putting on a show, which, this led to this. Well, of course, someone photoshopped Megan there, but where she's sitting at the piano trying to convince us that she's talented and spontaneous. Nothing could be further from the truth. She's as rigid as an emery board, but they try to convince us that she is so superior to everyone in the realm. And what really makes me crazy is they want to make us believe that she's more capable than the Duchess of Sussex. I don't want to make the comparison, but I have to because the tabloids are doing it. I don't want to make these comparisons, but I'm compelled to do it because they have branded the hardest working person that married into that family in a long time as a bully, as a narcissist, because she wanted to earn her keep. She was trying to sing for her supper, as they say, and for that she was vilified. They would prefer to have someone who is easily amused and manipulated, who will just show up and not ask any real questions. They're okay with that. And that's when as upset as I could possibly get and still, function when I think about it. That's why I make the comparison is because of the way the Duchess of Sussex has been mistreated. I don't like it. It's not fair. Because this one doesn't want to do anything, you vilify the one who could actually be of service and help, in particular with the Commonwealth. This is the one that was put down, vilified, and eventually run out of the country. And in particular, she was attacked during the most vulnerable time that any woman could ever have during a pregnancy. Not just one, but all three. She has been viciously attacked by the tabloid press. And no one in that family was interested in saying anything about it. They were just glad they were not the target. The invisible contract is real. So, that being said, let's get to the photos here. So, Prince William loves to let people know that he slept rough with a black man. Old Martin Luther Cambridge, no greater friend to the African community has there ever been than Martin Luther Cambridge and his night of sleeping rough with a black man. So surely he can't be the R word because he once slept rough with a black man. And he wants everybody to know it. They even went and found the black man so that he can tell people, yeah, we slept rough. He's not that. I know he's not. Matter of fact, we slept rough together. And so, because he slept rough with a black man, none of that can be true. Two things cannot be true at the same time because of that night under the stars with the man of color. Right. Moving on. And then there's this the glare at the Westminster Abbey. The glare. Now, the commentator at the time, I remember this like it was yesterday, the commentator said, oh, William was just kind of tired because he was likely up all night because they have a new child. Uh huh. Do y'all believe that? Because of a new child. They have a team of nannies, right? And all kind of help. But William was the one, the guy with the weight of empire on his shoulders and very little hair on his head. William was the one who stayed up all night with the child because he's just that nurturing. That's what we're led to believe. And that he wasn't glaring at the Duchess of Sussex. He was just tired. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the super sticker. Actually, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Wednesday to you. So, Mrs. 10 years early child development, 5 questions, and boiled egg are not only the R word, but they are lazy that and with a Z, and you can't cure that type of lazy with mumbling and jazz hands and Botox energy smiles. Josie, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. But yeah, there is no cure for that. The problem starts with the fact that their hearts are very dark, and the other part of it is the fact that they have no intellectual curiosity. At their core, the Cambridges are some pretty lackluster people who don't seem to care much for others. And from there, it just goes onward and upward in the wrong direction. So, yes, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. You now saw a clip where Jamaica Prime Minister told Williams and Kate that Jamaica will be moving on from the monarchy. Yes, that is very cool. So that happened recently, huh? Thank you for that update. Wow, this is the most people ever in the live chat. Thank you for being here, everyone. Let me see. Tired of what? Side eyeing Meghan. If Harry saw this, he would take him out behind the shed. Great to be here live. Love to all of you. Found the like button hard to locate. I was the 406 like. Thanks. Kathy, thank you for doing that. And you know what, Kathy? I am going to be absolutely fair to you and say yes. Depending on which device you're on, it is hard to find the like button. I've had that experience myself. While watching Tina and Michelle on Sundays, I finally got used to looking for it and locating it. But yeah, sometimes it is very difficult. But there's always the opportunity to do it later, but now is better. All right. I'm back. It's embarrassing how they always have to make excuses for the future king. Yes. Okay, Kate is an empty slate molded into their royal specifications. She acquiesced to every whim. Okay, yeah, she acquiesced to every whim. Let me see. Why would they care The attacks sanctioned by the palace, other entities join in on the horrible acts. Very true. I don't think there's much care or concern about that. They take their cue from Betty and just look the other way and try to let time take care of it. That is like a time honored tradition with that family. Old oak flavor, sorrel rum, very fresh coconut. Okay, dash of. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Okay. All right, next. So, in preparation, I mean, I have the other slide with the rose. You all saw that one already. The Mormon Tabernacle Choir with the rose and without. With the rose and without. So that is the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. There is all of these people. Most of them, I would imagine, are European of descent, except for the one in the back by the door. Someone told me that is the driver. That's the driver. And that he seemed to have been brought in just for the photo and then probably quickly kicked out so that he wouldn't contaminate that space or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But other than that, that is the diversity that you find at the Kensington Palace. That is the very diverse team of people that should have been there to save the Cambridges from themselves. But again, a lack of representation goes a long way. Okay, next slide. There we go. So this Facts and Two Cents posted this earlier, and I decided I have to try. Oh yeah, I need to share this with you guys in the community tab. It's from 2020. The case for British slavery reparations um, can no longer be brushed aside. Afua Hirsch wrote an article about this in The Guardian, and it's worth reviewing at this time because there has been warnings, but the British government decided to ignore those warnings as though these things are just going to go away on their own. So, for perspective and out of a sense of fair play, there were other photos. Now, there is obviously a distance in most of the photos. Kate's left arm is tucked to her side, obviously, because she's wearing the sapphire and diamond ring. And even Barack Obama, when he went to Asia, took off his wedding band and removed his watch when he was shaking hands in a crowd of people because things can and will happen. So the Duchess of Cambridge is not concerned about the gold bracelet, but the Holy Grail, of course, is a sapphire ring. And of course, if I was her, I would have done the same thing. Most people who's working the line will do that when there's a large crowd, without any regards to the color of the people. It's just something that they're told to do. So that is why the awkward left arm thing. But other than that, she's keeping a distance. Um, let's assume that the security personnel were on heightened alert for whatever reason. I'm just going to say for whatever reason. I'm not here to make anybody angry. I'm just showing you the other perspective. Let's say that for whatever reason they were on heightened alert and was like, make sure you stand back a couple of paces, blah blah blah. Okay, maybe. Let's just say maybe. Maybe that was the case. Body language experts will never touch the Cambridges because they're off limit. They're not clickbaitable. Maybe as a result of this tour, maybe someone will decide to tackle the subject of the Cambridges. But as we know, body language experts, they're using junk science to try to explain to us what's happening in still photos in places where they are not actually able to visit. So until then, as they say, a picture says 1,000 words. So this is the other perspective. So I didn't want to come in here and just condemn without sharing the other part of this to be as fair as possible and to also keep your blood pressure in the safety zone. So, your thoughts, please. Let me see. If they don't, let me see. If they don't worth it, even myself do even want to hear anything about those future clowns. Just overlook them, dear. Okay. Let me see. My kids wouldn't have been there to comfort or prop up Skull and Bones. Got it. Got it. Let me see. Let me see. Come up. There you go. Joan Commonwealth, absolutely. He just mad because he can't get his foot in the door. Uh-huh. Okay. Is such a psychopathic man child. He can dish it, but he can't take it. Diamonds may fall out of old ring. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying this is something that is uh are you saying the photo was turned around? Um okay. I can't really see that, but well, I don't think the photo is turned around because the sapphire is obviously on her left hand. She doesn't wear it on the right. So I don't think that the photo is turned around. Plus, I'm looking at William's buttons on his shirt and they seem to be proper. So um yeah. Yeah, I think that this photo is correct. I don't think it's turned around. I'm looking at the buttons. I know that the sapphire is on the left hand, so that seems to be on the up and up. Again, if I'm going to stress this again, if they would have had someone besides people who used to know people, they need, and I'm going to try to help them. They need to bring in a team. They need to bring in some political people to help them sort this out. Their ignorance is going to be their undoing. As we know, these photo ops are really meant, and let's not lose track of this. These photos are meant to prove that they are not that kind of family. They're not in Jamaica because they want to be, they're in Jamaica because they have to be. They have no connection in Jamaica other than the Jubilee celebration to kick off the Jubilee. The only reason why they're in Jamaica is so that they will not seek independence and get rid of the queen as the head of state. They're not there for any other reason. They're not there for coffee or anything else. They're there for her. And that's the only reason why they're there. They're there because the people who would have been there in their place were kicked out of the family. They were kicked out of the family. They were banished to the United States. Otherwise, you guys know they would be there right now. But sometimes God will do for us what we cannot do for ourselves. And so at just the right time, God was like, okay, no half in, no half out. You deal with it. You deal with it. You got all the answers. You deal with it. Let me see. I'm shocked clutching my fake pearls right now. Okay. Meghan was treated shamefully by William and Kate. Our ancestries will make sure there's not a moment of peace, no matter the palace. They lay their heads. An injury to one is an injury to all. You better speak it, Sonia Johnson. You over there prophesying. Okay. And then there's this awkward, awkward, awkward through the chain link fence. And then you can see there doesn't seem to be a struggle to maintain distance in the other photo. In the other photo, she's almost crowd surfing. And so, of course, using the purse as a good excuse not to extend the sapphire into the crowd, um, she's using only her right hand. So there you have it. All right, so nobody can say that I wasn't fair. Child Q. Has any of these people mentioned Child Q? Has anybody mentioned Child Q? Anyone? Anyone Child Q? Going once, going twice. No. Okay, let's get this over with then. Okay, so what do you guys think? Let's see. Baron, I believe their advisors are Tories. They work to attract Brexiters and the WS people. Okay, that would explain a lot. My husband asked me why I care so much, and I explained this isn't just about Meghan and Harry. It is standing up for everyone demonized just because, just for being um, people of color. We were all watching, we all heard the message. See, Mac, that is something that I've had to deal with in my personal life. Why do you care? They're rich. They can take care of themselves. I mean, I was even shocked by some of the people who I thought understood me as the person I am, who asked me, why do you care? I just do. It's not just about the Sussexes, it's the principle of it. I'm standing on principle. Plus, I really do hate a bully. It's something about a bully that just rubs me the wrong way. I hate a bully. And so for that reason, I tend to take up for the underdog. And that being considered, that is why I'm here. So, anyway, your thoughts about the video? Let's see there. Anybody? Okay, she was afraid. Um, okay, let's see here. Exactly true, like Meghan said in her letter when she won her case. It is for everyone who never afraid to speak, who's never afraid to speak the truth, not to be scared by millionaires who bully others constantly. Sorry about that. Okay, even if they did good, they messed up their reputation 5 years ago. Okay. And HRH, what is that? Chanelite? Let me see. You say, have we talked about when Kate turned to smile at Lisa blank Kate, then turned her head? Okay, so I'm guessing this was a little bit ago. That was in the video. I'll let it play while I'm looking at stuff. But there you have it. There you have it. The quick turn. Now, apparently, there's another perspective of this, and I wasn't sure that it was what it appears to be, although it seemed very awkward or cringeworthy, as the tabloids love to say. Both of these situations seemed very awkward and very cringe-worthy. Can you say awkward? Very, very cringeworthy. I've watched it over and over again. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. Both of these seem rather awkward and cringeworthy. Okay, while this was playing, I went and got myself something to drink. I was tired of the water, so I'm drinking some of that Arizona green tea. Just seemed appropriate right now. Okay, let me stop that. And let's go back to the Magnificent Seven. So I'm sorry, you guys. I asked if anybody had in the family mentioned Child Q, and then the comments are coming so fast and so furious. I didn't happen to see any. So, once again, did anybody mention Child Q from that family? Anyone? Ooh, these comments are coming fast. I'm so sorry if they did. Always remember, oh, there we go. Always remember all slaves on a plantation were not ready, willing to run to freedom. They would tell Master, you are running. Not all skin folks are kin folks. You better say that again, Sash. Not all skin folks are kin folks. Um, yeah, so what Sash is saying, in case that eluded you, is not everybody who looks like you are going to try to help you. Okay. All right. So I'm looking to see if anybody mentioned Child Q. I don't think so, right? Nobody has mentioned Child Q from the family. Okay. Hi, Beverly McCaskill. We'll go back and re-listening from the beginning. We'll catch up with everyone later. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much, Kate McCaskill. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right. This is what I'm looking for. No mention, child cute. Diana Abbott. Recent video is well said. Okay. Thank you so much, HRH. I didn't think so. Nobody from that family. And so when they say they don't want to get political, right? The family's not supposed to get political. They got involved with Ukraine. They have gotten involved with Ukraine. Oh my goodness, that's so sad. Madeleine Albright died. I love Madeleine Albright. I just saw that pop up on my screen. Oh, give me a second. Okay, I'm good. I just had to take a couple of deep breaths. Madeleine Albright. Madeleine, if women don't help other women, there's a special place in hell. Albright has passed away. Oh my God, I hate that. I love Madeleine Albright. I think I just saw that. I get the updates on the corner of my screen and it kind of pops up and goes away. So I'm sure I saw that right. Madeleine Albright has passed away. Okay, this wardrobe malfunction with the Duchess of Doolittle. Oh, really? Which one was that? I know, Mo Shannon. Can you believe that? Madeleine Albright. Oh, that was one of the people that I wanted her to live to see the first woman president. Um, I don't think that Madeleine Albright could have run for president because I don't believe she was born in the United States. Let me see. They probably trying to blame Lisa Hannah for the interaction like they did Meghan just so they can make Kate look sympathetic. Yeah. Oh, they're going to do some spinning on all of this stuff. Okay. Mention child Q, nor will they. They don't want Meghan, Archie, or Lily to have political protection. So why would they care about this nameless child? Great point, Margaret. Oh my goodness, Madeleine Albright. Okay, so there they are. Um, the haves and the have mores. The haves and the have mores. I just threw that in there today. And of course, this was the famous Blackamoor incident, which she has yet to apologize. Princess Michael of Kent, also known as Christine Marie something or other, whose father has had an interesting line of work. They said that he was a Nazi. There's even a photo of him in the uniform. She pretended like she didn't know that. but she had to do a bunch of things to marry into that family. And it was reported that she had a couple of sheeps on their property. They were black sheeps, and someone who was dating her daughter went public and told them that the sheep were named Venus and Serena. They were black sheeps, and they named them Venus and Serena. That wasn't supposed to get out, but it did. The royal family made its fortune from slave trade, and of course, I believe that's Charles II is the one who really turned up the fire on the transatlantic slave trade. Dr. Shola, in recent days, I guess nobody was listening to her when she said Jamaica's not mincing their words. And that should have been warning enough to the future and the future to get their act together before they went over to Jamaica. But did they? No. Growing calls in Caribbean to cut ties with monarchy as royals fly out. Well, as they fly out, um, things were, already in place to, separate from the queen, right? To get rid of the monarch. But when they return, especially now, I can almost assure you that those chartered flights of the Windrush people is going to kick off in earnest. They are going to try to get those people out of the UK as fast as possible, um, because I'm sure there's an anger there. I wouldn't be surprised if William did try to pilot one of the planes himself. Have TV on. Nothing has come up about her. Sorry to hear this. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that I saw that. I'm sure of it. Okay, next slide. Oh, okay. This is a little change of gears. At 16, Yvette Stevens joined the Black Panther Party. She was responsible for selling Black Panther newspaper and helping start the free breakfast program for children. You might know her by another name, Shaka Khan. Happy 69th birthday to Grammy Award winning singer Shaka Khan. Yeah, go Shaka, go Shaka. But yeah, so Shaka Khan um was a Black Panther. I don't know if you guys knew that, but she got street cred for that. Yes, she's got major street cred for being a Black Panther or a former member of the Black Panther Party. Okay, let's go here. So I just put that there to remind you that this is what happened before they left for the Caribbean. It was St. Patrick's Day, and the future was there with the future king, where she touched the head of a child of color because, that's what you do. That was quite awkward and embarrassing, but she did it. Still didn't learn anything, did she? You know who that is, right? That is Her Majesty the Queen being carried by the native folks. I guess there's somewhere in Polynesia. This must have been one of those Oceania tours, but yeah, there's the Queen of England carried on a barge of humanity. Philip, in order to honor Philip, they decided to create a boat for him because, of course, that's, the captain and Lizzie. So they made a boat for him. Um, it almost looks like the scene of the Great White Hunter. This was a cartoon called Tintin. And as you can see, the natives depicted there. So you would think that there was a lesson learned, right? You would think, but no. Um, the Cambridges are tone deaf. There's the Obamas sitting in the parlor of the apartment at Kensington Palace, and there is a portrait, a painting in the background depicting an African slave, um, And I believe that the name of the painting is called The Negro Page. The Negro Page. And it's an unusual painting in that the African is almost on the same, I guess, level. I mean, he almost looks like a gentleman, doesn't he? And he's on the same level as the white people depicted in the painting, except he is holding the reins of the horse, whereas the other two seem to be in a conversation. So it's somewhat unusual because he's not in a more of a subservient pose. Usually in those paintings, listen to me. Kate is the one who's the art historian, and look at me interpreting the painting. He's actually looking away from white people. Again, very unusual. But at the same time, common sense would have said remove the painting. The President of the United States and his wife, the First Lady, is coming. But did they move it? No. Guess what they did? They put a lamp in front of it. That lamp seems to be off center for a reason because instead of taking the painting down, they decided to slightly obscure it with a lamp. How stupid can you be? They're just stupid. That was dumb. Why not just take the painting down? They got a whole collection of paintings in that family. They could have put anything up, but did they? No, they just put a lamp in front of it. I guess they didn't have a ficus tree convenient. Dumb. Let me see. I'm still very angry about those children in caged fence. I wouldn't have. I mean, it wouldn't have happened if Diana, with Diana, she would have asked to go and greet them. These children would have surrounded her with love. John Newbold, that is a great observation, and I believe you are 100% right. Okay, leering at the Duchess of Sussex. So there was that moment captured by camera. It just so happens that it was captured on film or on tape or whatever. I'm just saying, you can extrapolate from this whatever you will, but William seems to be infanticizing his sister in law. Seems to be. I don't know that for sure. Did I just use a big word, infanticizing? And there they are, the co conspirators plotting and scheming together. Yeah, it just came up again about Madeleine Albright, so obvious it's true. Okay, just had another sip. Excuse me. Dr. Shola said it's time to call out William on his R words. And obviously, he didn't get the message before they left. Meghan Markle is trending after soccer match she didn't attend. Prince William released a statement denouncing the R word taunts against English football players mere months after not supporting his sister in law in the same way. Huh? Piers Morgan and Prince William are being blasted for condemning the R word attacks against English soccer stars in the wake of their treatment of Meghan Markle. And there's Martin Luther Cambridge, photographed with some white people. I'm sorry, black people who were told to try to look as ethnic as possible. I'm just being shady. But they were told to look as ethnic as possible because he got in trouble for sounding like an imperialist colonizer. William is ripped for blaming African population growth for wildlife losses, not development from the Western world like oil companies and such, but because they exist on a continent of their ancestors. Surely they're the reason why there is a loss of habitat and also the loss of wildlife. It has nothing to do with the you know influences and such from major multinational corporations. We'll look right past that. Why don't we? Yes, it's a photo op. Charlotte is here. Hi, Charlotte. Okay, so there's that. Oh, you know what? I'm almost done with my slides. This is my last set of slides. We asked a boomer and a millennial what they think of the British royal family, and their responses were really different. Well, for the boomers, obviously, most boomers are for the status quo. And of course, the millennials support the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Meghan is not your scapegoat. That was something that one of the squatties made. I really like that too. Meghan is not your scapegoat. Okay, you guys, that was it for the slides. Um, and let's see. Who was that? Annie, who has been reminding me to put our faves together, and I have yet to do it, but I ain't forgot about it. Let's give love to Doria and to Diana, because those two queens are the ones that have made the Sussexes possible with their love and guidance. Okay. So I'm going to take a look at some more comments, and then we are going to ginger avenger ourselves out of here. So you guys are good. There's 1,031 people. As you exit the party, please don't forget to take your hats, your coats. Make sure you hit the like buttons. Make sure you practice your French because it is very important. Charlotte, we, Mademoiselle Charlotte, it is very important. Okay, so don't forget to practice your French. En français, la petite appartement, right? My little apartment, la petite appartement. I'm just glad I'm saying apartment and not something else. Oui or oui. La petite appartement. Okay. Oh, by the way, you guys, I have an announcement to make. Today is the anniversary of a huge event in um, the American government, and I'm going to share that with you. Let me find it. So many of you all, including myself, have benefited from this, thanks to um, our former president. Okay. Are you ready for it? Here it comes. Aha, there you go. So many of us have benefited from this change in law, and so few people thank the man who made it possible. Someone who took a hit politically, but actually got it done. The Affordable Care Act. 12 years ago today, I signed the Affordable Care Act into law. I've always believed that health care should be a privilege for, health shouldn't be a privilege for just a fortunate few, but a right for every American. Today, more than 30 million Americans have health coverage thanks to the Affordable Care Act. So thank you, President Obama, for the Affordable Care Act. There are testimonials that you can find online of people like the young lady right there in the hospital bed. If not for the former president of the United States, she probably wouldn't have a fighting chance because every year so many people lacking proper health insurance die because of some pre-existing conditions and of course the future things that they didn't see coming. So, thanks to the Affordable Care Act, now everyone may find coverage. But before that, there was the Child Care Act, which we could thank Hillary Clinton because she was so instrumental in getting that passed. When Hillary Clinton was trying to establish universal health care, that wasn't possible. So Hillary said, if we cannot care for everyone, then at least let's cover the children. So don't you all forget that it was also HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, who also was active with the healthcare in America, and that, of course, was for children because there was too much backlash to have anything like universal health care, which we still do not have. We have the Affordable Care Act, but it's as close as we can get, and I'll take it. That makes sure that everyone can have coverage. Okay, so that happened. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Ted Kennedy. Don't forget Ted Kennedy. That's true. Ted Kennedy told Obama before he died to fight for health care. Ted Kennedy was another one of those voices that fought for it. So, yeah, thank you for that reminder. And I think, didn't John McCain, didn't he have one of the deciding votes? I think John McCain helped to pass that legislation. I do believe that. Okay, Mo. Yes, it is Ginger Avenger time. Thank you for that. All right, you guys. I hope everybody's good. Please do not go away from here angry. Do not go here away from here angry. Try to be as constructive as possible. Do not elevate your blood pressure. Um, I doubt if the Cambridges will learn anything from this, except for how stupid they can be sometimes. But aside from that, I hope that something comes out of this because those two people, somebody has got to help them because they are a danger to themselves and others. The Cambridges are a danger to themselves and others. Somebody needs to save them because alone they are going to do themselves in. So, but we can't worry about that because we are here for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Thank you for watching, everybody. Love you guys. And now it is time to Ginger Avenger ourselves out of here. Oh, the last word of the day. The last word of the day. Is that it, Yvonne? Is that our last word of the day? Somebody? Okay, TP says, have a great day, everyone. I enjoy squatties. All right, that's it. The last word of the day. Now we can go. Q Ginger Avenger. Where are you? Ginger. There you go. Whew, okay. I wasn't sure how we would get through that, but we have all gotten through it somehow. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. If you're still here, how is it 807 people still in the live chat? You guys do know this is over, right? Last call for alcohol. You don't have to go home, but you have to get out of here. Um, uh, find some. What is that? You win some, you lose some. What goes up must come down. Um, all that glitters is not gold. That's it, y'all. I'm done. Last one out. Turn the lights off. Yeah, Patty. See ya. Europe, Europe, Europe. Yes, Marshar. I'm looking. Okay, now the number is going down. What are y'all doing? We're done here. Um, See ya. I'm not leaving until you all leave. uh, okay, still 7:49. This is okay, 7:31. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. Go on now. Y'all come back now here. Or as Ellie Mae Clampett would say, this has been a Filmway presentation. You know, when the real Ellie Mae Clampett died, the one that played Ellie Mae Clampett, I wonder if that was her last words as she slipped away. I wonder if she said, "This has been a Filmway presentation," and then she took her last breath. I wondered about that. What about Isabel Sanford? This is so bad, but this is what y'all get for hanging around. When Isabel Sanford passed away, I wonder if her last words were, I can't even do it. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me try. um, The Jeffersons was filmed for a live studio audience. The Jeffersons was filmed before a live studio audience. George, the Willises will be here any minute. George. Oh, wouldn't that be something? As she slowly slips away to her glory, and someone asks the family, "What was the last thing she said?" The Jeffersons was filmed before a live studio audience. George. Oh, that's bad. Okay, y'all, go on now. It's still 640. I know we do need to laugh because it's been that kind of a day. I wasn't sure how to approach it, but I just said I'm gonna do what needs to be done. But I mean, there'll be other podcasts today, so I just didn't want to be too angry and start the day on the wrong foot or whatever. So George, oh hi Helen, George. That's when I can tell I have a bad cold. If I sound like wheezy, then I probably need some antibiotics. George. Oh, okay, y'all. I'm okay. I'm gonna go for real now. Have a good day, everybody. I think Duchess of Success is coming up soon, and I hope Facts and Two Cents will be up later. Let me see. That's wrong, Baron. Pamela Porter says that's wrong. Yeah, I know, but gosh, I loves doing that. George, George. Oh, okay, y'all. I'm gone for real. For real. Yes, yes. Okay. Cheers. Cheers. God save the Sussex squad. And God save all the queens. That includes Edwina. Save all the queens. Edwina included. Okay. Cheers. Toodaloo. Oh, you know what? Last night I finished watching the last Gilded Age. Boy, that was good. We're gonna have to have a Gilded Age discussion. Miss V, I didn't know you were in here. I'm Miss VSN. Miss VSN is here. Miss VSN, I can't get these folks out of here. They just won't leave. I mean, I have said every obnoxious thing I could possibly say, and they just won't leave. You know what? Maybe a little nudity. That'll drive them out of here. There's nothing more unsightly than a middle-aged, over-caffeinated, chubby baby boomer. If that will clear the house, then I'm willing to do it. Oh, let's see. You got to just cut and run. Yeah, I know. I know. I um I don't know. I just felt like hanging out just to see. I was curious just to see how many people would stick around. And my curiosity is getting the better of me because I, some days I'm lucky if I have 600 people all day. And now there's just 600 people listening to me talk like Isabel Sanford. George, the Willises will be here in a minute. George. Okay, y'all. For real, for real. It's been 2 hours and 54 seconds. I'm up. Okay, bye, y'all.